camping in Cheddar Gorge, little spot we know. It's a beautiful place, lovely day. A lot of good dead dry wood around here where it's been falling off the trees. If you look around at these trees, because of the winter, a lot of them are shedding, or whatever you'd call it. They're getting rid of their excess branches, so it leaves perfect firewood like this. And even though this stuff isn't hanging from a tree, it is kind of suspended. If you look at it closely, it's not actually touching the floor, and this stuff is perfect. It's dry as a bone and it snaps easily. Perfect stuff. It's a beautiful place, Cheddar. If you've never been here, seriously, people around the UK say that it's like one of the best tourist attractions. Obviously you've got the little village just down the gorge, and that's got like caves and things and attractions, a sweet factory and stuff like that. But the nature and wildlife around the gorge is definitely worth visiting. If you like wild camping, if you like hiking, even just getting out and seeing sights with your family is a beautiful place. There's also some kind of shoot going on across the valley. We've heard shotgun pops all day. I'm guessing they're doing a cull or some kind of clay pigeon shoot. If you listen out carefully, you might hear the little pops. There you go. By the sound of it, is at least half a mile, 3/4 of a mile away. We just spotted some goats right on the edge of our campsite. Black goats. Really nice creatures. I'm gonna see how close I can get without scaring them off. I'm not sure if you can see them through the trees. Just grazing on the side of the cliffs. Right, I'm gonna leave them be now. You can see the natural rocks covered in this thick, really soft, spongy layer of moss, which you can pretty much lift up like a carpet, you know. Perfect for covering shelters and stuff with. If you were to build a bushcraft shelter here, you'd have a lot of material. But again, it dates back to at least Bronze Age kind of era. And you can almost picture primitive humans coming through these woodlands. There's a lot of mythology behind Cheddar as well. If you're into myths and legends, there's myths about witches, there's myths about giants. Just up here, a little bird box. Yeah. Apparently the gorge was created when two giants had a fight, or so they say. Here we got a little nesting box. I'm not going to poke around because there could be anything in there, and I don't want to disturb their habitat. But yeah, for anyone who's not been here, it's Cheddar Gorge, and I really recommend it to anyone who likes wilderness walks. This is just a tiny section. I mean, we're not even showing you the best bits. Where we are, across the gorge, along that tree line, there's a lot of open land up there, walks, paths, and like sights to see. There's some kind of, I think it's Jacob's ladder or something, a really long staircase that goes up the cliffs down by the village. Lots of tourist attractions here if you're interested in that kind of thing. You're here now, settled in, just waiting, looking round, exploring the nearby area. It's a really lovely site here. I like a spot to camp. It's so quiet, like peaceful. You hear birds, you get the occasional car down in the valley, and a helicopter. But yeah, it's a beautiful spot, and we've been really lucky with the weather as well. So to be honest, there's not so much bushcraft going on in this video. It's more of just a chilling out camp. Me and Mike, we used to go camping a lot back in the day, a few years back. Then we went through a period where we didn't see each other for a long time, and this is kind of like our second like camp out, if you know what I mean, like since like we last saw each other. We did a hammock camp in Lee Woods. I didn't really get a chance to make a full video, but I did put a little slideshow type thing up on the channel. That reminds me, I want to thank everyone who's subscribed to us as well. I know we're like a little channel. We're hoping to get more out here soon, and it's really nice to see people, like, especially we've got like Americans, I think there's a Scottish guy, yeah, Canadians. You've got a few followers, but subscribers or whatever you call it. But it's nice. It's nice. It's nice to see that people take an interest in nature. Like one of my favourite bushcraft outdoors channels is Bushcraft Tools. You want to look over on that channel. He does some really great stuff, and he offers courses as well. A guy called Dustin and his friend Mike from TA Outdoors. They've got really good channel for building things especially, and some pretty good cooking tips as well. They always have a good feast. We ended up getting subscribed to by Carl's Adventures, I believe. Yeah, he's worth checking out as well. You can look him up. Really interesting guy, seems nice, and he puts up some pretty interesting videos. Chilling out in the last of the sunshine. Beautiful day. Wild camping hasn't got to be expensive. It hasn't got to be the best stuff. I mean, if you want to start getting into it properly as a hobby, then yeah, sure, invest in something good now and again, something a bit more expensive. But me personally, I use a lot of army surplus equipment, as you can see. Combat 95s, the old print, and so does Mike as well. We tend to use quite a bit of army surplus gear. It's durable. At the end of the day, army surplus equipment is built to survive a war zone, so you know you're getting good wear for your price, and it's usually cheap. It's easy to get hold of, and a lot of it you'll find is probably better than some of this stuff you buy. Nowadays you're paying for a brand name, you know what I mean? You're not for an example, you could go out and buy say a £20 sleeping bag, one of those things you get in Argos. Now you might find one for like £30 or £40, but it's pretty much the same sleeping bag. It's just got a name on it. It's got a better name, you know. Everyone's different, especially with wild camping. You've got to find what benefits you and what you feel most comfortable with. It also depends on the terrain, where you're camping. Like, I haven't camped in a tent for a long time. I used to use bivvies a lot. I just used to make my own shelters. Last camp we did was a hammock camp. So yeah, this is our second one for a while, and I'm using a little cheap tent, which around here is wise, because if you can see in the background, these trees, they couldn't hold any weight. They're very old. Most of them are dead, standing, moss growing on them. They're ancient, basically a skeleton wood, and you couldn't really. You get a few trees you could hang a hammock on, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't risk it. Things can fall on you as well. There's a lot of overhanging dead wood, but it's a beautiful place, and we've came here before, and I'm sure we'll come here again. And I hope other people come here too. Right, so Mike's gone off to take position with his air rifle. We've set up a little target on this tree over here. I don't know if you can see him. He's trying to be stealth like a sniper. Like. Try and hold the camera steady. There he is. I'm going to try and zoom in on the target. So as good as much as I can anyway. No, I don't even know if that was a hit. Oh, it was. Clean hit. Just above the tape. Now, I don't, if you are going to bring an air rifle or something of that nature out with you, then do be responsible. Don't ever shoot when there's people around. Wait until evening, possibly. Look around to make sure there's no animals. Be an adult about it, just don't mess about. It's not worth risking it. You could hurt someone else, you could get in trouble. I mean, I'm not saying don't use it, by all means take it out and have fun, but just be sensible about it. It's the same with carrying knives, hatchets, things like that. Just use your common sense. So he's lining up for another shot. Just missed that one. I think that was a hit there. Yeah, we got 2 hits. Oh, let's get it focused. Where are we going? Yeah, that. 2 hits. Mike's actually going back further now. He's getting a better range. Yeah. Check this one out. Oh, not a bad little group in there. So he's reloading, taking up position. So far he's had a good grouping. British Army stance there. Oh, talking about a good grouping, look at that. Look at that. And they get better. Look at the groupings on that. The sun is going down in the gorge.
Good, isn't it?
Eating good in the woods.
Our seasonings are one.
Finally set up for the night. In the tents for the night. The tents we stayed in were crap. Really cheap. And it didn't even rain and it just ended up wet inside from condensation.
Eastern Europe, and he's talking to our transport
So
correspondent,
guys,
Caroline Davis.
we
as hard as we can.
We had a bit of a, there was no rain last night. It was just very cold and we had condensation on the tents. They are really cheap tents, so I pretty much expected it. Now this is another thing, guys. Little mini radio. I ordered this on eBay for about £4 from China. Really handy if you get bored when you're out camping.
Make an annual profit, so
AM/FM. But yeah, the weight is nothing at all. You won't even notice you got it on you. And literally £4 from China. In American, that's probably about, I don't know, $2, $2.50 or something like that. I'm not too good with currency, but yeah. The before we went camping last time, we picked up these balaclavas. They're thermal ones, but they really help. I mean, like, just this alone can make you feel a lot better. If you've got a good sleeping bag and you've got one of these on, you're not losing any heat. We've hung the tents out to dry because they're just like cheapy tents that aren't waterproof. It's basically just like sleeping in a sheet. Yeah, don't stinge on tents, guys. Seriously, if you're going to buy equipment, make sure you buy at least like reasonable stuff, if not the best you can get for your price range, because the thing is, if you stinge on gear and get cheap gear, it's alright for a few uses, but it depends how often you're planning on doing this, because you kind of want, if you're doing this as a hobby or long term, then you want decent stuff, because you're not going to be comfortable or happy with cheap things. It's just going to make you not want to do it, to be honest. So yeah, invest, buy your best stuff, the best stuff you can get for your price range. It hasn't got to be stupidly expensive, but just don't get the really cheap stuff. Go for like the second option, you know. If you see two things, don't go for the cheapest one. beautiful terrain in Cheddar. I definitely, like I said, I definitely recommend it for anyone that likes the outdoors, camping, hiking, watching wildlife. Just so tranquil. So here we are on day 2. We're finding another campsite. We're just on the way there now, scouting it out. Mike's just taking a few layers off because it's got hot. And he's sorting his gear out. Up that way, if you can see him in the distance. Up amongst the trees. Yeah, we're gonna head down a bit closer to the cliffs. See if we can get another spot. Beautiful day again. Sun's up. It's about 10 in the morning now, I believe. We stayed at the old camp for about 3 hours. And here he comes. This would be a great spot in the summer.
Yeah, right, isn't it?
Yeah.
I say from camp to that.
So it's 11:30 on the second day. We're just getting set up in camp. We've put some stuff out now. We're not going to put those tents up till really late. But yeah, just sorting out the fire and our seats. Yeah. Looks like a better little camp, to be honest. There's less wind here, and you can see some nice stuff as well. I'll take you over here. You can see right out across the gorge into the other fields. Quite a nice little secluded place. Lots of rocks around, which is handy for making fire pits and other bushcraft projects. And a lot of them are flat as well. So it's about midday now, day 2, Cheddar Gorge near Bristol. We're set up in our little camp. We haven't put our tents up or nothing yet. Mike's down there trying to find a bit of wood to make a bow to start a fire with a bow technique. And there's across the gorge, there's people chopping down loads of trees with chainsaws. Terrible thing. Probably got to be done for some reason, I should imagine, but not a very nice thing to see. But yeah, it's just natural management. You have to move things and cut things down, let other things grow. Kind of happens. See, a lot of woods aren't managed or kept in shape like this one here. This is just ancient, really. This dates back to the Bronze Age times at least. You can just picture it in the Neolithic days. Little caves and cavemen running around. Such a beautiful place there. You don't normally get that noise you can hear in the background. That's just where there's like 3 chainsaw tree surgeons cutting bushes down way across the valley. it's just echoing like it's close. We've got a little bit of firewood for later on. I haven't sorted it into piles yet.